Every day, she had to stick sewing needles all around the door, then thread one end of a thin thread through these needle holes and tie it with a dead knot. The other end stretched to the second floor and was tied to the injured man in the helmet. Her purpose was to use him to take out the enemy who was about to arrive. Then she tied a thin thread to the gun's trigger and, using the same method, threaded the line through needle holes in the ceiling and tied it to the chair the helmet guy was sitting on. As the thread gradually tightened, the gun was successfully suspended in midair. After setting up these traps, Lisa quickly hid behind the cabinet. Sure enough, just as she expected, a few minutes later, a man with a weapon came to the outside of the house. Lisa had to hold her breath, waiting for him to walk into the trap. Soon, Jimmy opened the door without any caution, completely unaware that the trap had been triggered. As the door crack opened wider, the taut, thin thread instantly dragged the drug dealer down from the second floor, which led to the following chain reaction. Finally, as the thin thread pulled, the gun smoothly reached the helmet guy's hands. But at the critical moment, there were no bullets in the gun. And at this time, Jimmy had also broken free from his restraints. Seeing the plan fail, Lisa quickly grabbed the locked case full of cash and escaped through the back door. But this heavy locked case instead affected her escape speed. Soon, Jimmy caught up. He shot Lisa dead with one shot. After counting the 1 million cash in the locked case, Jimmy left satisfied. But unexpectedly, the barely conscious Lisa woke up the next second. It turned out she had returned to an hour ago. Looking at the ground, it was still those two injured drug dealers lying there. This time, she chose to save neither of them, but directly called the police. But she still wanted to possess that 1 million in cash, so she hid it again. Unexpectedly, she couldn't hide it from the police. Looking at the drugs all over the road, the experienced sergeant immediately understood. This was the result of a failed drug transaction. Since both parties of the transaction were lying on the ground, the money couldn't just disappear into thin air. So she opened Lisa's trunk. Unexpectedly, there was nothing inside, but this also made her discover that huge thread spool behind the car. Sure enough, the locked case was hidden inside. In the end, Lisa was arrested and brought back to the police station together with the two drug dealers for hiding stolen money. Several people were tied in different corners of the same room. While the sergeant went to the bathroom, Lisa had the idea of escaping. She had the helmet guy opposite take off his belt and shoelaces, then tie the two together. Then by swinging the belt out, they could successfully get close to the keys on the table. And Lisa wasn't idle either. She took out a piece of paper from the sewing kit, folded it into a paper tube, then stuffed a sewing needle inside, thus making a simple launcher. Then she put the launcher to her mouth and blew hard. The shot sewing needle smoothly went through the keyring and stuck into the belt. This way, as long as the two of them slowly pulled back the belt and the sewing needle, the keys might fall to the ground. But just when they were about to succeed, the drug dealer boss Jimmy appeared again. He was the blonde man's father. After learning his son's transaction had failed, he angrily came to the police station and directly